Hi guys. Today I thought I'd talk about emotions in general. So emotions are really the critical thing. They're the most important thing when it comes to dating, to being confident, to having self-respect, to whether it's getting dates or being attractive to people, attracting women or attracting men. The key to it is emotions, and this is also the key to really almost everything. Success in any area, success in career or business or school or artistic endeavor. Really, the key to success in just about everything is your emotions. And it's even more critical, I think, in dating and relationships, because emotions are what's going back and forth between the two people, and it's really critical. So this is really the trick. This is the trick to life. This is really, really a big deal. So emotions, and the trick is, you can call it a trick, you can call it anything you want, but is the solution to whatever the problem is generally to allow it to exist. So you can do emotional allowing to be able to, get past some emotions that are bothering you, which is a more specific strategy, but just in general, to allow whatever emotions you have to exist. So if you get triggered, I don't really care for that word, but if you get upset, if you get angry at somebody else, if you're in a conversation and tempers get, high, and somebody's like, and you start to blame and judge the other person. Well, you did this, and I wouldn't have done it if you hadn't have said that, and you made me feel this way. Now, when you're doing that, you're blaming the other person. You're pushing it all on them. But the key it's not that you're treating another person badly. That's not the thing that you're doing. That's the real core of the problem. The problem is you're not allowing your own emotion to have space, to exist. You only blame and judge other people when you don't accept your own emotions, when you think there's something wrong with them and you don't want them and you want to get rid of them. So people get angry, and then the way to get rid of the anger is to attack someone else, whether verbally or physically or in whatever other way. So the thing is to allow that emotion to exist, to give it the respect it needs. And I think I mentioned this before. What I do often is I will picture the emotion as an animal, just a separate little being. And I picture it as a cat, and then pet the cat, because care for that emotion. And that also separates from you, and it's very important that you separate from your emotions, that you remove yourself from it. Now, I know that can sound bad, like, wait, what, I'm disconnecting myself from my emotions? That sounds terrible. But you want to disidentify. You don't want to identify with emotion, because you want to be aware of your emotions. You want to feel them. You want to respect them. But you don't want to be confused and think that you are them, because your emotions are your emotions. They're not you. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not whatever comes up. Whatever emotion you're feeling, that isn't you. That's an emotion. And each time you experience an emotion is a new emotion. It's different every single time. I mean, it may feel really close, but each one is a unique occurrence, and they're like a wave that moves through you. It's like waves moving through the ocean, right? The emotions. It's like you're the water. You're not the wave. The wave is just something that moves by, right? It's something that is a process more than it is an actual physical thing, right? And you, depending on your beliefs, at least in part, are an actual physical thing. You are not fear. You are not anger. So it's really important. So you feel fear come up. The most important thing is why people get anxiety and panic attacks and things, is they identify with it. Feel like it is them, right? So see it as a separate thing. And then when you see it as a separate thing, it's good to respect it, care for it, love it, if you will. Treat it well. And it is also good, like in a relationship or a dating situation, if something negative comes up, if a upset or a negative thing starts to happen, the thing to do is first be aware. Be aware that, oh, I'm having an emotion right now. I'm feeling upset. What am I feeling? I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling like this person just said something that really upset me. I feel insulted. I feel attacked. And now I'm angry about it, right? And to be aware that you are feeling anger is the first step. Then, once you realize that, allow for that anger. Just let it live. Let it be there. You'll find that, I find that most of the time, it does not last very long once I allow it to be there. Because it's moving, it's traveling, it's on its way, it's got things to do. Emotion is in motion. Emotion's in motion. They're moving on by. And they only stay when you don't accept them. When you don't pay attention to them, when you identify with them and think that they're, hold on to them and think that they're you or something like that. Or if you want to get rid of them. So fear is really, this happens with fear a lot. If you're trying to get rid of the fear, trying to push it away, I don't want to be afraid. Oh God, this is terrible. This is the worst. I'm so afraid. So you try and push the fear away. I don't want to feel fear. I don't want to feel that. So when you do that, you're just holding on to it. You're grabbing it. You're just holding on to it for dear life. And this is why people panic, because they're holding on to their fear as if they're trying to push it away, but by trying to push it away, what you're really doing is clinging to it, and you're identifying with it. So you want to disidentify with it. Think of it as something else. Like I said, I find it easy to picture it as an animal, as a separate thing, as a separate being. And then I can be nice to it. And even fear, when fear will come up, what I had happen is I would think of my fear, and this helped, is that the emotions of fear and excitement are basically the same feeling in your body. So if you can identify those, if you can identify that you're feeling fear, a good trick is to think, this could be excitement. Let me try and feel this is excitement. And then you kind of automatically do, and then you're excited and something good is happening. That can happen pretty quickly. And it's pretty miraculous. So that's a good tip to remember, that anger and excitement are very close. So if you, misspoke there. Fear and excitement are very close. So if you're feeling afraid, think of it as excitement. Try that the next time you feel afraid. And think of it as a separate thing. Like, think of it as a roller coaster, and the roller coaster's over here. It's an exciting, it's interesting, and it's over here. It's not me. And anger can do that too. Anger comes up, and it's what generally happens with that is it's somebody else, right? Then it goes out, It's kind of going in the other direction, where I'm angry at this other person. So you can identify and think of the anger and as a separate thing, right? Just anger, okay, and then sit with it. Allow the anger to just bubble and boil and do its thing. I mean, sometimes it might be good to go, if the anger's really big, I find it can be good to, if you have a punching or kicking bag or something like that, or even just screaming into a pillow, or even just going inside your car and rolling up the windows and yelling. It can also help to swear, like just do a tirade of swearing, blah, 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 and kind of release the energy, And what I found is usually if you do something like that, then it can bring up the crying. And then once you cry, it'll kind of move everything through. But the important thing is to allow it or accept it. And here's what happens is each of these emotions, as they come up, a lot of them, if not most emotions that come up, are something that's related to some buried thing in you, some emotion that you've stored. Could be some trauma that you had, something from your childhood. Could be something from last week, or something from 10 minutes ago. But we store our emotions in our bones and organs of our bodies, so that when you repress or suppress your emotions, when you push them down because you can't feel them because you're, at work or something, or you don't want to upset somebody, you push those emotions down. That's energy. That energy has to go somewhere. And when you push it down, you know where it goes? It goes into your body. So it gets stored in the muscles, in the bones, in the organs of your body. And this is, I think, where a lot of illness and trouble comes from, is people suppressing their emotions or repressing their emotions. So we have repressing and suppressing. When you suppress an emotion, it starts to come up and you notice it and you decide you don't want it, so you push it down. And repressing is when it's outside of your awareness. It's so deep in your conscious that you don't even know that it was coming up. You've developed this automatic mechanism to push it down before your awareness even kicks in. So that's a deeper process. But both of these processes are going on with most of us, so we're filling our organs and muscles up with all these buried emotions, and then they'll get triggered sometimes and released by some other event. So not only, this is why people can blow up and get really angry or get really afraid, is because when there's the fear or the anger of that moment, but it pulls up some of the other thing because your body wants to get rid of that stuff that's stored in it that's destabilizing the way your organs function and destabilizing the functioning of your body, so it wants to get rid of it. So this other thing comes, and you get angry at that. It's like, okay, well, time to get rid of anger. Let's release the anger from the liver or wherever it's stored. And so it will seem out of proportion. Your fear or your anger or whatever will seem out of proportion to what's happening. But that's a good process. Here's another thing. Don't think of it as bad. So even if you have an argument or a fight with somebody, people think of that as a negative, bad thing. But if it's clearing out those old emotions, which it is, it's a good thing. You need that for your health. You have to clear those emotions if you ever want to be truly physically, mentally, emotionally healthy. So don't think of it as a bad thing. It's a good thing. So allow it to happen, accept it, love it, and understand that it's a good thing, that it's part of a natural process. And now every time one of those things comes up, you have a bunch of anger come up and you push it back down, you're just pushing it back into your organs. And what happens is it's a huge missed opportunity. So it's like, say, in a relationship, if you have a big fight and then you don't accept the emotion and you don't allow it and you don't realize that it's a separate thing from you, and you just get angry and then you suppress some more of it and maybe go distract yourself with drugs, alcohol, Facebook, video games, whatever it is, go distract yourself with something, then you've missed a giant opportunity because you didn't clear that stuff. You didn't get to clear that old emotion that was coming up. So you had that experience and it was painful for you, and it's kind of wasted. It was kind of a wasted experience. I mean, it was only not wasted in that it was an opportunity that you didn't take advantage of, so that maybe next time you'll get enough opportunities that you'll eventually take advantage of one. So in that sense, it has value. But as far as actually clearing things, there's nothing really got done there. So it's good to remind yourself of that, because do you want to go through this experience, this painful experience, for nothing? To not accomplish anything? Or do you want to go through it and at least know that you cleared that emotion, that one of your organs or muscles is now a little bit healthier, that your emotional state's a little more stable now, that your confidence is a little better, you're a little more grounded, you're a little more better able to deal with people. People are more attracted to you. People like you more. People, want to be with you, because in each time you do that, each time you clear some of those emotions, each time you can clear some of those buried emotions, you become a healthier, better person in every way. Now, it's happening in tiny increments, so you might not see it. Other people might not see it right away. But each time you do it, it builds and builds and builds. And over time, you will become more grounded, you will become more healthy, you will become more confident, you'll become more successful, you'll have better relationships, you'll have a better sex life. All of it will get better. And the thing to do is take advantage of those opportunities and don't think of them as a bad thing. Turmoil in a relationship or the argument, it can be a good thing. It is a necessary thing, for sure. It's necessary. And it's necessary so you can release that. And if you can release it in a relationship, you can release it with the other person, and they're aware it's happening, and you both can do it, and both are aware of it. That will have added huge benefits to connecting you and putting you in the same place, and you're both going through a similar process. And that can have can build incredible closeness and really help a relationship. And it can also help on a date, even with new people, in a smaller way. If it's even someone you just met, when you're processing things, when you're going through things like that, if you allow what's able to happen, you behave differently when an emotion comes up, and you allow it to be. And also, when you're allowing it to be there, you tend not to be in denial about it and trying to hide it. So you're more likely to say, I'm feeling a little nervous right now, or feeling a little bit of fear, whatever it is. And then you can say that to the person, then you're sharing something with them, then you're opening, you're being authentic. It's about being open, being light. Things become lighter and more open, as we become more authentic and as we accept our emotions and just accept what's happening. I mean, the same type of thing works for events as well as emotions. Just allowing whatever is happening in your life just to be there. Whether it's a financial crisis or something with a family member, or whatever it is, allow it to be what it is, because fighting it and denying it and wanting it to not exist is not going to help anything. But allowing it will give it space. And when it has space, it can change. It can evolve. And you can have space and you can change, and you might see solutions that you wouldn't have seen before, if you're lightened up. And then, life becomes more light. Life becomes an easier thing to deal with. It becomes an easier task. It becomes fun. It becomes positive. It becomes exciting, and you can go from being anxious all the time to being excited all the time, or being angry all the time to being, a person who really can accept people and who doesn't judge. And granted, it can take some time, but with each thing, each moment, each event, you change. You will change every single time. Each time will help you. Each time will permanently improve your situation, in whatever way. So it's good to focus on these things. I think I'm going to wrap it up for today, but remember to comment and like and share if you will, and we will see you next time.